Hello, I'm Shirley, and today I'm at the home of Mayumi who is Japanese American, right?
Correct.
Right, and she's an artist, hotelier, but now she's dedicating most of her time to social services, especially animal welfare. Well, let's meet Mayumi. Hi.
Sherry, thanks for coming to my home today.
Yes, very nice. It's a beautiful home, and I've heard so much about your life already, but you know, it's nothing if my audience doesn't hear about your story themselves. There's so much, but first of all, you were born in Brazil.
Correct.
Yes, and you were there for, it looks like 18 years.
18 years.
Yes. Wait, well, how did you end up in Brazil? It was because of your dad's job?
My grandparents,
Yes.
they immigrated from Japan. At that time, I believe that Japan was so overpopulated, and they discovered Brazil, and they thought Brazil was such a welcome country where people from nothing could actually nurture themselves if you work hard. So just like many immigrants to Brazil, they went on a ship with nothing, and then they built their family. My parents were already born in Brazil, and I am the third generation.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Both your parents, I mean, they're Japanese, right?
Correct.
From where in Japan?
They came from a town called Kumamoto, which is a very, very south part of Japan. They even speak different dialect in that part of the island.
Oh, okay. Oh, with a different accent, I guess. All right. So anyway, so you were in Brazil for a good 18 years. And then after that, because you've been around a lot of different places around the world, you're a very global woman, you know, a very global person. What was after Brazil?
After Brazil, I decided to go to Japan to pursue my career. I'm a painter. I was studying at the same time I was doing painting in the evening, and I just discovered that painting is such a great way to express yourself, things that you cannot put in words, because in Japanese culture, it's so strange that I don't remember hugging and kissing my parents because we're just so into that Japanese mode of body language of you express love to your family in different ways.
Right, you're talking about the Brazil culture.
Yeah, so
there's a
that
lot of
culture is
hugging and
there.
kissing, right? Yeah.
But with the Japanese culture, not much. So I decided to move to Japan to have a try, and I was very lucky that a family hosted me in Shizuoka, and then at the same time I was participating in painting, and it was there that I actually won first prize on one of the painting exhibition.
Oh, okay.
And that really grew on me, and I say, I think there is more for me. After Japan, instead of going back to Brazil. Then what I did is I started searching into the life of my favorite painter, Pablo Picasso.
Oh, Picasso. Yeah, what was your first painting about? I mean, I guess, do you still have it?
I don't have it, unfortunately, because I have done so many of those in Brazil. I've done so many in Paris. I've done so many in Japan. Today here I have some, but today what I really do is dog portrait that I could show you later.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But painting was something that it was so deep in me, and then the Pablo Picasso was this genius that to me was a painter, he was a sculptor, he was everything, and I was just mesmerized with every single painting that he did. I could just spend a day admiring Guernica, for example. It's just a black and white painting.
Okay. So what was the first painting about?
It was actually an ocean. Copied from a painting book.
Okay.
With the help of my first teacher in Brazil.
And that's the one that you got first prize?
No, the one that I got first prize was in Japan.
Oh, all right.
It was very interesting because that was out of my imagination. I painted a sunset. It was a tree with the sun setting behind the tree, and I remember I just used 4 or 5 colors in it. It was orange, white, yellow, and dark brown. And I created this sunset, and this was an inspiration that came out of nowhere. I had actually presented 4 paintings. And then I had 1 canvas and I had a few times left. So I said, why don't I paint 1 more? And I decided to do this sunset, and I got the first prize.
How old were you then?
21.
21. And you did this in Japan, right? Because that's the time when you went to Japan. You went to Japan to study college, right?
Yes, but then I was doing fine art. So instead of college, it was a technical school.
Okay.
With a very, very special teacher that was very famous at that time, and then I was just following his steps.
You wanted to do arts. You knew from the start that that's what you wanted to do. Okay. So, but I understand that you thought, okay, I want to be a painter, but I've got to have some sort of income to support my art, my interest, my career. So you thought you've got to find a job. Is that right? So then what did you do?
Yes. You know what? There was two choices, right? You live like a poor artist in a basement, or you have a more decent life and you find a job that gives you a more solid and stable income. And then I started thinking, but what can I do? At that time, I only knew how to do typewriter. But I didn't know computer, I didn't know accounting, because doing fine art, all you know is mixing colors.
That's not true.
And so I failed several interviews, and I remember this was in Paris.
What?
Then I said,
you look for jobs like outside of Japan? You want, right. You were telling me that every 3 years you feel like you had to move on, go to a different country, right? That's when it started. So you apply for jobs in Paris. Well, not just only in Paris, is that right? The other countries as well?
For jobs everywhere.
Everywhere.
It's very strange because I never knew about work permit and all that stuff. I just thought, oh, I just gonna go and apply, and somehow I survived. So when I was in Paris, I said, I better really look for a decent job. So I applied for jobs, but I never really got an opportunity to even have that the opportunity to express myself because I could not speak English at that time.
Oh, okay.
So
you only spoke Japanese.
I could speak Japanese, Portuguese, Spanish, Italian, Catalan.
You were in Brazil. So.
But I could not speak English. And then I realized, oh my gosh, English is important. This is the global language.
Yeah.
What I did, I packed everything and I went to Ireland.
Ireland?
Ireland.
Wait a minute. You just told me you applied for a job in Paris and other places, but then you end up in Ireland?
Yes. And I said, wow, I cannot get a job if I don't speak English. So I packed everything. I remember at that time we didn't have internet. So what I did, I went into this, I think it was a bakery store or furniture store. They have this newsletter, expatriates newsletter, and I was just paging them. And I saw English classes in Dublin where you can actually do a homestay. So I look at the price, I look at my budget, I say, I can afford this. And I just signed up for that. And I remember, this is amazing that I don't remember the words that I learned, I don't remember the teacher, but I do remember this very, very humiliating situation where the family came to pick me up. And I was rehearsing myself. First thing I need to ask my host mother, where is the bank? How far is the school? How do I get to school? And all that was forgotten when we got to her house, and she had 2 Labradors and a little boy. The boy was just 6 years old. Then the dogs would come to him and he would say, sit, wait, come here. And the dog will be listening to this little boy. And I say, oh my gosh, this dog's English is better than mine. But that was actually an encouragement for me. I said, I don't want to be worse than those dogs. I will really study hard. And I remember that I had my 6-month spring course. I know it was summer English course. That really helped me. And this is how I went to Madrid, and I started studying hotel management, and at the same time I applied, and I found a job, my first job in Madrid.
Okay. Okay, so you studied hotel management where? I'm so confused now. Which country was it that you studied?
Madrid.
Madrid, when you studied, hotel management. So the fine arts part came later?
The fine art actually came earlier. So the hotel came later, where I said, I need to really find a job. But I could not, you know what? I think passion and motivation is not enough when you are looking for the first job. You need some sort of education or some sort of knowledge in there. So I decided to go and I signed up for this. It was actually a stewardess school, PR stewardess school in Madrid. It's called Delicias, nearby the
Stewardess? You mean like flight attendant?
Correct.
Okay.
Because I don't think I could find a hotel management school. So it was on this delicious kind of academy that taught you tourism, language, and everything all together. So I remember that you could choose what subjects you would like to study. And I chose language and then hotel management. And you know, when I had my first internship, that is when really things start moving on because I really enjoyed it. And you know, the fact that I could speak so many languages, I think it helped me stand out.
Oh,
and
yeah, definitely.
And immediately the Crown Plaza Hotel in Madrid gave me my first hotel job. Until
Okay.
today, that's my mentor, the general manager that hired me. He will forever be my model, my mentor, and the person who actually trusted me and gave me this first opportunity that many companies actually would not give you as the, you know, as
Yeah.
a freshman applying.